All right, well, let me tell you about this next one. It's a good one. Hey everybody, it's 6:47 a.m. and it is, well, for me it's Monday morning and it is slow. It is so slow this morning. I had the app on up for about, I think I put it on like at 6 a.m. So over 40 minutes had passed before I got anything that was decent, and there was a period where it was just dead silent, and I was just watching these AI movie trailers of sci-fi movies on YouTube just to pass the time. That's some really cool ones. I couldn't believe it. I guess I don't remember the name of the channel, but you guys probably know. They do like Star Wars and The Matrix and all these movies, but they make it look like it's from the 1950s, and they use nothing but AI technology to generate these trailers, and they're so incredible. I was just mesmerized by them. So I was into that. That helped pass the time. So that's about it. So anyway, we're on our way to pick up the Starbucks. Let's get on over there.
Turn left, then turn left.
Well, it looks pretty quiet here this morning. There's hardly anybody here in the parking lot, so that's a good sign. At least we know the coffee will be ready for us. Doesn't bode well for the day as far as how busy it's going to be, but well, we'll just see what happens. There was a guy in there that was so weird. He was acting really strange. I don't even know how to describe it, but there are some people who, when they go to Starbucks regularly, they somehow think that they live there, and they start to get a little too familiar with the employees, and they're like, it reminds me, that people that go to the same bar over and over again, and then after a while they start to act like they live there, like they're like the co-workers of the employees, and so they're like invading their space, and they're having inappropriate conversations with the employees that you would only really have if you were like a family member or a close friend. So it was just really awkward. I was just like, these poor Starbucks employees try to create an atmosphere in there that's inviting, but they don't want you to start asking them questions that are personal, that go beyond the level of proper etiquette that you would expect people to maintain when you're inside of a public setting. Well, that delivery was normal. I come to this place regularly too. And now we're just backing out because it's so difficult to make a U-turn because the houses are so close together in this community. So, yeah, that was it. It's going to be slow. Oh, wait, did something come in? Let's see here. Nope. It's gone. Whatever it was, it's gone. Well, it's slow. I don't know what's going to happen today, what we're going to talk about, but I never know. I'm never sure what we're going to talk about. So this could be just a super quiet day, and our video will be super short. Maybe I can come up with a good financial related topic or some kind of family story or something. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to talk. Every day I don't know what we're going to talk about. Every day is a mystery. Sometimes I get a little bit anxious about it. I'm like, what are we going to talk about today? What's going to happen that's going to be interesting to put on video? And sometimes stuff comes up and that's what we talk about. Sometimes nothing comes up. Oh, I got something for Albertsons. Oh, it says I missed it. Even though it just dinged in, it says I missed it. So it's gone. Whatever it was, we lost it because the Wi-Fi in this area is terrible. So we missed it. Well, here we are again. It's round 2. We're forming the pattern. The Starbucks marathon pattern is beginning. I am pulling into the parking lot. I hope things are much more civil inside of that Starbucks than when I left it. It's like Groundhog Day, everybody. Every day is the same day. All right, let's get underway here. Let's roll this car out again. Start the routine. Well, everything seemed normal in there this time. That's so weird. I'm sure this happens at a lot of Starbucks. I'm sure they got a lot of strange people that start to feel like that's their second home. They don't buy anything. They just come and they just sit in there. Or they may just buy a cup of coffee so people can't say they didn't buy anything. And then they don't even drink it. They just hold on to it. They nurse it all day long as they sit in there for like 4 or 5 hours until they find their ass starts to hurt and they want to go home. Yeah, it's a really weird world. People are so strange, and I don't know why. I think just some people have no filters. They just have there's something in their brain is just missing that says, hey, wait a minute, I'm upsetting people. I shouldn't behave this way. And it's just not clicking for them, I guess. I remember as a kid, I would go home to I think my grandma would tell her, I go, all the kids laugh at me when I tell them that I'm half Mexican, and because I looked 100% Japanese when I was younger. I wasn't even slightly brown yet. My skin was still very fair skinned, and even now people don't know I'm half Mexican. So when I would go, and most of the kids were Mexican, the school I went to, and they would just laugh at me. They would just think it was so funny that I was like making up a story, like I was just trying to fit in with them. And I'm like, no, I'm half, my mother's Mexican. And then they would just laugh and tell me I was a liar, and I would get upset, and I would tell my grandma about it. And she would just tell me to ignore them. She's like, they don't, you know the truth, and don't listen to them. And so she would just try to cheer me up about it. But yeah, it was not easy. It's not easy growing up. It wasn't easy growing up being a person with mixed ancestry, because you're seeing both sides of a cultural thing going on, and yet you're kind of invisible to it because they don't include you in that group, because you physically don't appear to be a part of that group. So it can be a very ostracizing sensation, to say the least. All right, we're just about here. It's going to be on the left. It's going to be a leave at the door. Is it this one? No, it's the next one. It's got to make a U-turn as usual.
They added the following instruction. Leave at my door.
Okay, we're here. All right, well, that drop off went just fine. I just got startled by a little dog that barked. Usually here in this town, windows are not open because, it's usually the humidity is so low and it usually gets so hot. But right now it's in the upper 70s. So that particular house, the front window was open. And I guess there was a little dog, watching me the whole time, and I had no idea. And so the little dog barked at me when I was walking away. It kind of made me jump. But that was about it. It wasn't like I jumped because I was afraid of the dog. It was just jump because the loud bark suddenly startled me. It's like, what was that? So that was about it for that house. And it's slower than heck. I'm already almost back to the home base, and we haven't gotten anything. Days when it's slow like this, I really don't understand how other drivers can just park somewhere and sit in their car. I couldn't do it. I mean, my body would just tell me, no, you can't do that. Because, sitting in a car makes you, if you just sit in a car and you don't have any kind of activity to do, even if you just have your phone to read articles for a while or watch a movie, it's not as relaxing as being at home. You really kind of feel trapped in the car and stuck. So you get to the point where you'll take anything because you just want to move. So you'll take the worst offers that they throw at you just so you have something to do. And I wonder if that's just a part of the psychological strategy of what these apps try to get you to do. They hope you'll do is that you'll just take offers out of desperation to have something to do. So I purposely, every time I finish an order, I start driving back home, because that, first of all, gets me back to my hotspot, and then second of all, I know that when I arrive at home, I have other things I can do. We have an UberEats. It's a shop and pay, shopping for 8 items, and they're heavy, for $9.09 for 3.6 miles. I didn't accept it because it was a match, so I let it go. UberEats, $3.03 for 2.7 miles. Hell no, get out of here. Yeah, I guess I could have taken that Albertsons one, but whenever they're a match, I'm always just like, oh, let somebody else have it. They're just sending it out to anybody. It's not being directed just at me. And it wasn't a wow offer, especially for heavy items. To only get $9, it's like, that's okay. I'll wait for something better. I have no problem. So I always head back to home base, and then I have stuff to do at home to keep myself busy until an offer comes in. And then if it gets super slow, well, I'll just take a nap. I'll just lay down the bed, put the TV on. I'll have my phone set so that it's loud enough so it'll wake me up if something comes in. And then I turn into the 911 operator of delivery. And that's fine because my window is open. My window opens at 6 a.m. and I close it around 11:30, and that's it. And whatever I happen to catch for that during that window is what I catch. Someone in the comments was asking about, how I make all my graphics and how can they do that too. And I wish it was simple where I could just tell them, but the programs that I use, they're expensive. Number one, I use Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, so they're expensive. They're not cheap programs. And then the other thing is you have to know how to use them. And I think a lot of people right now, the younger generation doesn't have a lot of access to these programs. Like in the olden days, you used to be able to get bootlegs of these programs that you could learn how to use them, and they were the full version. So that's how I learned. I learned having these free programs, and I learned how to use them, and then I started using them professionally. So yeah, I just put in the comment that, what I just told you. And so, but I think young people, where there's a will, there's a way. So they'll figure it out. If they see something they like, if they can't use the Adobe products to create what they need to create, they'll figure a workaround. They'll figure out something. Because young people are so smart. That's the thing I like about youth. They always figure out workarounds. Even when you try to stop them from doing something, if they want to do it, they're going to do it. All right, it's a super slow day. I think I was home for about an hour and 15 minutes, I want to say, because I think I was out. I think I came home at about 7:30 a.m. and I only did a couple of those Starbucks deliveries. And now it's 8:45 a.m. and I got some offers that came in that just were not appealing because they were taking me out of the zone, and they were such low amounts. There was like a $6 one, and then there was like a $5 and something one, and they were just so borderline. I was like, nah, that's okay, because I could tell it was just too slow. So I was like, well, if it's this slow, there's no point in even taking it, because I'm just going to dead mile all the way back home again for such a low dollar amount. So I'm like, why bother? And then I got a Walmart Spark one that was pretty good. It was like $19 and change, and just 2 grocery orders. But I was thinking about how I haven't even received the money yet from Walmart Spark into my branch account yet. And I really am not familiar with the whole process yet, as far as, when they pay and how long it takes to get paid. And I kind of want to make sure all of that is smooth, like the whole process is worked out from the point from where I start doing the job to I complete the assignment, until the money gets into the branch account, until it finally reaches my bank account. I want to make sure that entire process is smooth before I commit any time into the Walmart Spark app. So that's why I didn't take it, and then I just turned the app off, and I was just hanging out at home, just taking offers from anybody just to see what the offers were. So that was the Walmart Spark one. Man, that took a long time. I was in there for quite some time, but we got it. There was even another driver that came in after me, and he got his order before mine. Maybe I should have been a little bit more assertive. Maybe I should have went up there. But normally at this particular location, you just sit and you wait, and they have a spot where they drop the bag, and you can see them, putting the bag for people to take. That's just how this one works, because normally at all the other ones, you just walk up to the counter and you tell them who you're there to pick up for, and then they let you know the status of it, and then they they put it on the counter for you when they prepare it. But this particular one, they don't do that. They don't have a person dedicated or there to walk up to. They kind of ignore you when you first go over there. And so you can't get really any help normally unless you really give them the stare down to get their attention. So I usually just hang out, and then eventually the order just they put it in the spot for you just to grab it and go. But for whatever reason, when I first arrived, the first one was there waiting, and then I sat there for probably about I want to say for about 7 to 10 minutes. And then finally, they helped the other person who spoke to them and said, what order he was there to pick up. And then eventually, like a minute after he left, then mine appeared, and then I got it. But that's not normal. I mean, it's not normal for them to be so slow like that. So I was just kind of not worried about it, because it's going to be a slow day anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. There's not a lot going on as far as orders go, and this is a good one for the dollar amount, so I was willing to wait. And the DoorDash app popped up and sent a message and said that I could unassign myself from that particular order and move on. But it's so slow. It's like, why would I unassign myself if there's no better opportunities waiting for me? So I just sat there and hung out. I did some posts on YouTube on the community page, and then I did the same post on Instagram. That was about it. So I was just like, well, this day's a bust.
Their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door, reception area.
All right, well, that delivery went fine. I just don't know if the camera recorded anything. I was so caught off guard that I was going to go to a pet grooming place that I forgot to look to see if the camera was recording anything. I was like wondering, I wonder if these pet grooming places are a good place to go to get my dog's nails trimmed. I always take my dog to the vet to get his nails trimmed, because I always think that's, I already have an established relationship with those people, so that's why I do that. But sometimes I wonder if it's a better deal to go, to a place like a regular groomer. This next one's gonna be handed to me. It looks like a business. Just gotta figure out how to get over there with all this crazy traffic. It's a lot of people in queue. Gotta get in line here. Oh my goodness. Yep, just drop off this next one. I guess I might as well turn on the other app and see if anything else comes in. I gotta take a picture of myself. I've gotta take a picture of myself when I'm at this red light. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead, take a picture. I'm ready. Okay, go online. I'm smiling. Oh, we're going. We gots to go. We's gots to go. I wish they would put the name of the business when they do these handed to me's, or when they're out of business, just say the name of the business, because that way I'll know when to turn, because I know all the names of most of the businesses, and I can also look for the business name. But these last two, they just said the name of the suite number, so that makes it a little bit more, just a little bit more harder. Whoa, there's a big one coming in for Vaughn's. I'm gonna accept it. Wow, you guys won't believe what just came in. It's a Vaughn's order, but let's drop this one off first. I'll tell you all about it. Thank you. Have a good one.
I got it.
Such spooky stairs. It's kind of scary when you come in here. It's like, am I gonna get murdered? All right, well, let me tell you about this next one. It's a good one. We're so lucked out. I'll tell you about, it might be famous last words, but let me tell you, we're gonna get $40.55. Wow, and we only have to drive 2.9 miles. Wow. And of course it's heavy, so we're going to be shopping at Vons for 34 items. So that's a lot of items. And I don't even know if I should bother even showing you guys the items, because that's a lot of items. But let's quickly just throw it up. Let me put on my screen thing here. Start recording. So I'm not going to read them all, because obviously it's a lot of stuff. Oh, there's a broken sprinkler and it just splashed my car. I'll show you. You can't really see it, but my windshield is all covered in water. Man, that startled me. Well, anyway, back to the list. Eggs, turkey breasts, a whole bunch of fruit, a whole bunch of vegetables, some frozen breakfasts, some some pastries, toaster pastries, gelatin and pudding, ice cream and popsicles, nuts. I don't see anything that heavy. It's just a lot of stuff, but there's nothing particularly heavy. It's just a large grocery order. I don't see anything unusual. All right, well, let's get in there and get going. That was a huge order. I don't know if I've ever had an order that big before to shop. I mean, I've delivered bigger orders when you just pick them up, but don't think I've ever had an order that big that I actually shopped for. That was quite the haul, I have to say. So we're off to, I guess we're off to a house. It's only 2 miles from here, 8 minutes. Please leave in front of door. Go through front gate and leave by front door. Thank you. So that's it. Yeah, and it worked out good. They had no check stand open at the moment. So it was a little bit of a confusing situation when I was ready to check out. And people were grumbling about there not being any cash registers open, just the self-checkout. So when I asked the lady at the self-checkout, are there any available checkers? Because I had such a large order, the guy looked at me, he's like, yeah, right. He was so mad that he could not get, a checker to help him with his large order. So he was just doing the self-checkout. But there was no way I was gonna scan all that myself. It was massive. It was a massive amount of stuff. So yeah, we got it all done. And I think I might have gotten myself a little paper cut on the strawberry packaging, the package of strawberries, because it feels weird, my index finger. So that always happens. I don't know what it is about the strawberry, the package of strawberries. It is razor sharp, and it's the only item that I ever cut myself on. This is now the second time that I've gotten a cut from the sharp plastic of the strawberries. But oh well, what can you do? It's a part of the job. It's one of the job hazards. It's such a very dangerous job. You got to be real careful. Time is currently 10:04 a.m. So I'm not exactly sure how long we've been going since we left the house. I forget, but it can't be that long. It can't even be 2 hours. I bet you we were only in that store for an hour. So to get $40 for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, is well worth it. Hello. All right, we made it into Anthem Country Club, and we only got to go 0.8 more miles to get there, so we should be okay as far as the distance to get in and out. And believe it or not, I still have my DoorDash paused, and I made sure to continue to unpause and pause so I didn't lose my dash. Not that it really matters, because DoorDash has been so slow today, so I don't know if it mattered or not. And we only have about, it's 10:07 now. We have about an hour left in the shift, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15, something like that. So not that much time is left in the shift, so I don't know if it was even worth trying to preserve the shift that we had in DoorDash. I don't know. You never know. There could be a huge order that can come in from DoorDash the moment we finish this one. So it's always best to, keep it active if you can. I don't think there's going to be much opportunity to film because I have so much to carry in, but I'll do a video shot of the trunk because it's full to the max. So that'll be at least something. And at least you're getting a view of the fancy community, so that's something else too. At least you're not being totally deprived of the experience, of the Vegas ride-along experience. All right, let's make sure we don't miss it by saying all these jokes. Let's see. Is it this one? No, it's one more. Let's see. It looks like it's this one. This fancy house here. Okay, let's go. Well, they didn't have a long walkway, so it was easier to deliver to that house than I thought. So I figured, oh, I can film. The trips going back and forth to the car are not that long, not that significant. So that worked out. These are very beautiful homes over here, and I love that they're single story. No, there's 2-story. They always look single story to me, but they're actually 2-story. But they're very pretty. Yeah, this is a very nice community. It's very expensive, the HOA fees to live here. I don't need to tell you that. You can tell with all the grounds that they have to take care of in this community. It is expensive. It is no small feat to manage this community with all these trees and all this wildlife they have in here. They have like a golf course, and they have a lake, and they got animals, and man, they got groundskeepers working here 24/7 days a week to keep up with everything. Man, and when the fall comes and all the leaves drop, oh man, they got a lot to maintain, that's for sure. Oh man, I gotta catch my breath. That was a lot. Well, all right, well, I'll let you know if anything comes in. I think we've been going now, as far as our hourly rate, I think we've been going for 3 hours, because we started at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, and it's 10:16 now, so that's 4 hours. So we're somewhere around 2.75 and 3 hours. UberEats, $3.62 for 8.8 miles. No. So I think you could divide it by 2.75, whatever, or just divide it by 3. We made so much money on this one. I'm sure it brought up the rate much higher anyway, because it looks like we're gonna get $40 from this one, and then I don't know how much we made on all the other ones. So you guys know. So I'm sure if we're not in the $20, we're close to it. So we're doing just fine, and the day's almost over, and I already knew this day we were not gonna make giant money as far as the hourly rate goes, or as far as the total amount that we're gonna make. The hourly rate's always about the same, because we're always making money if we're in the car. If we are not getting any work, you know where we are. We're at home, so those hours don't count. We're off the clock when we get back home. So right now, I still count this time as being on the clock. It's when I finally get home that I stop the clock. That's how I normally do it. And I do rounding. I just round it. I'm not 100% accurate. This is not scientific, everyone. This is just, giving you guys a general feel of how much time I'm actually in the car working. I have a story to tell you guys. When we were kids, we lived near a field, and it was really hot, and there's no swimming pools or anything that we could use. So we decided to take a shovel, and we dug a hole in the dirt, and we made our own pool, and we filled it up with water with the hose, and we just put our shorts on, and we sat in the basically we were like pigs in the mud, and we just sort of hung out in the water, in the dirty, muddy water, and we made mud pies as kids, and that was like a swimming pool for us, and and then I think my dad got home, and he got so mad because all of our clothes were covered in mud, and he was so mad. But that's what kids do, we're adventurous. We're always just coming up. I always thought of us like the Little Rascals. You ever see that old show, The Little Rascals? The kids, we just have all this free time, and you can't help but get into mischief. All right, everybody. Well, that's it. That's the end of the shift. It's over. My God, it's bright. I just was hanging out at home, and nothing came in. Excuse me. Nothing came in. I had lunch, and I had a delicious veggie burger and some my peanut butter granola bar. And nothing came in, nothing good at all. So the day's over. So take a look at the totals. We got our hours up here, how much money we made, and below we have our stats, so you can see our acceptance rate and all the ratings, so you can see where we are for today. But it was a terribly slow day, and not a whole lot happened. So, and I hope you can hear me with the air conditioner going on full blast. So thank you so much for watching, and I guess we'll just see you on the next one. Hopefully the next one tomorrow will be better. All right, take care. Bye for now.